This is 5 on your side at 4. Focused on you.
We are in storm alert right now. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a live look at the dark clouds over St. Louis Lambert International Airport. High winds, hail, and even tornadoes all possible tonight across the bi-state. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brent Solomon.
And I'm Kate Quinn. Those storms look like they'll stay with us until around 10 tonight. We have team coverage of the potential for severe weather in our area. Meteorologist Tracy Hinson joins us live. She's on the road in the 5 on your side storm tracker. And Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell is here in studio with our Weather First forecast.
And why don't we begin with Scott? Scott, what should we know about these storms?
Well, the good news we have is in the last 15 to 20 minutes, the storms that were coming in, approaching the metro area, are tending to fizzle out a bit on us, and that's good news. We can use some rain for sure, but we don't have imminent severe weather for most of the area right now. That's a live look down in Arnold, where it is beginning to rain at this point as you go down Interstate 55. This is still going to slow down your evening rush hour as this rain comes at an inopportune time for travel across the region. Here's the lowdown. We've had this first wave of showers and thunderstorms developing up until they were approaching the metro area. Some of them were able to create some large hail up to about quarters and $half size out to the west of St. Louis, especially out towards Flint Hill, back up into parts of Lincoln and Warren counties. What's in the metro area right now and to our south, though, showing signs of weakening. It's encountering the drier air. Dew points have come down into the 50s, and so these storms can only produce some heavy rainfall, maybe a little pea-sized hail about to cross the Mississippi River here from Imperial to Kimmswick. We look back to the north. Those storms that had warnings on them earlier, Greene and Jersey County, they are not all that strong as they move into Macoupin County. Still some gusty winds here, but not severe storms at this point, and they're going to be pushing northeast rapidly as well. We still have a couple of cells trying to develop around the immediate metro area at this point, some coming in along the Blanchette Bridge and out along 6440. So we'll have to deal with that for the evening rush hour, right? The worst of the storms in this second wave back here to the north and west. Tornadoes are more likely across northeast Missouri. We were talking about this yesterday, closer to the spin of this upper level system. We'll see how much farther south that second line can build. If it doesn't build south, then our severe weather threat looks exceedingly limited after this first line gets through. But that's not a guarantee. Severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 9 o'clock for most of the area. We'll stay in storm alert through 9 o'clock tonight, and then our chances for showers and storms will back off.
All right, thank you, Scott. We continue our team coverage now with meteorologist Tracy Hinson.
That's right. She's keeping an eye on things from the storm tracker. Tracy, where are you right now?
Alrighty, Kay and Brent. So I am just traveling southbound on Interstate 55 here. Turn the camera around, show you that we are, this area always has a bit of traffic. We do have a couple of raindrops on our windshield, and it's continuing to come down. The track of this storm looks like it's going to bring more of this rainfall up, as if the storm itself was almost driving along Interstate 55, making its way up to the north. So we're kind of crossing over into some of the more moderate rainfall here, and we'll be in some heavy rainfall in a little bit. One thing with this is the winds have settled down now that the rain has started, but we have seen some very gusty winds throughout our drive around. We've been all over St. Louis today, but kind of by the airport, up into St. Charles, and then now as we head down further to the south along Interstate 55 here, Cahokia on the other side of the river. So we are seeing just light rain. So far it's nothing to write home about. I've seen a couple strikes of lightning, but it has been fairly minimal so far, and we'll like to keep it that way. I'll keep an eye on the roads for you, as well as these storms coming up in the next few minutes.
All right. Tracy, thank you for keeping us updated. You can get the Weather First forecast, by the way, 24/7. Text the word weather to 314-425-5355.
Cardinals Nation and much of St. Louis in mourning right now. Legendary Cardinals manager Whitey Herzog died today at the age of 92.
He led the Cardinals to 3 World Series appearances in the 1980s, winning the championship in 1982. Sports Director Frank Cusimano is here now with more on the life and legacy of a man lovingly known as the White Rat.
Brent and Kate, it seems like everyone in St. Louis has a Whitey Herzog story to share. Whether you bumped into him on the street or knew him growing up in New Athens, Darrell Norman Elvert Herzog was a part of countless St. Louis lives. Yes, he was one of the most innovative managers in baseball history, thanks to his patent Whitey ball style of play. He won a World Series and took the Cardinals to 2 more. But Herzog's impact goes well beyond the field. The National Baseball Hall of Famer had one of the greatest minds our town has ever seen. I caught up with some of Whitey's former players today. Here's how one of his pitchers remembered the man both on and off the field.
Well, if he's coming out to the mound to take you out, you never open up your glove and have him reach in to grab the baseball. You take the baseball and hand it to Whitey and don't say a word and jog off the field. He has almost like a photographic memory. He can remember the weather on a certain date 25, 30 years ago and tell you exactly what happened in that ball game. And if you looked it up on Google, he'd be 100% right.
From Jack Clark to Andy Van Slyke to Danny Cox, we talked to a lot of Whitey's former players today. We'll hear from them coming up at 5, 6, and 10.
Talk about a legacy. Thank you much. If you'd like to learn more about Whitey Herzog's life and career, just text the word Whitey to 314-425-5355. That very same number. We'll send you a link.
And tonight on the 5+ app, we'll be showing the 1990 special Whitey, The End of an Era. You can stream it all tonight at 9:30 on your Roku, Amazon Fire, or Apple TV. 2 men are dead after an overnight shootout at a Ferguson gas station. A police officer was inside the store when he heard gunshots coming from outside. 5 on your side's Mark Maxwell has new details on how Ferguson police are handling the investigation. Mark?
Okay, a 9-year police veteran, a 37-year-old officer, says he heard those gunshots from inside the QT on West Florissant. He walked outside to witness a shooting in progress near the gas pumps. The officer drew his gun and shot the man with the gun. That officer called for backup at 1:36 a.m., we're told. St. Louis County Police have taken over the investigation. The officer involved was not hurt. He is on leave pending this ongoing investigation. That's standard procedure in cases like this. Detectives have already reviewed video footage from the gas station's surveillance cameras. County police tell me the officer was wearing a body camera during the incident. County policy requires them to release that footage in a critical incident report within 45 days. This is also the city's first officer-involved shooting under the leadership of new Ferguson Police Chief Troy Doyle.
He witnessed another individual fatally wounding a subject on the parking lot. Being that this individual posed a threat to the officer and other people on the lot, the officer acted accordingly and fatally wounded the suspect that was involved in the original shooting.
We don't know at this time if the officers administered first aid. EMS did arrive quickly on scene just after. They're about a block away. Police have not yet identified the names of either of the 2 men shot and killed here. We expect they may publish that information tomorrow after notifying their families.
Mark Maxwell reporting for us at 4. An investigation now underway into a deadly shooting in St. Louis's Tower Grove South neighborhood. When officers got to Hartford Street around 9 last night, they found the victim's body near a home. The suspect was inside of the home. Police told him to get out, but they say the suspect started shooting. Police returned fire. Officers eventually made it into that house and found the suspect dead. We don't know if it was a self-inflicted gunshot or if police shot him. 5 on your side is Megan Kernan. We'll have more on this investigation coming up at 5 and 6.
The man accused of holding a woman hostage in an armed standoff with St. Charles police has been charged. Terrence Mahone of O'Fallon, Missouri, faces charges of unlawful use of a weapon. Police say he fired shots in the parking garage of St. Charles City Hall yesterday morning, then took his wife hostage. Negotiators brought the situation to a peaceful end about 2 hours later. Investigators say Mahone was upset about something that happened during a court hearing just before the incident.
4 people in St. Charles County are facing federal charges of forced labor and trafficking. The victim came to the U.S. from India on a student visa to attend college. Well, instead, prosecutors say he was forced into manual labor at a home in Defiance. 2 of the accused, a married couple, also facing charges of stealing $83,000 in government funds set aside for military veterans. All of them are set to appear in court tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Getting a liquor license just got easier in the city of St. Louis. The bill just signed into law that streamlines the process.
And challenging conditions for firefighters in St. Charles, while the weather made it hard for crews to put out an apartment fire.